Hey there, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm excited to share with you step-by-step how to integrate Apify agent skills, which is a powerful web scraping platform, into both Claude Code and also Cursor. And in this tutorial, we're just going to build a simple example showing how to scrape leads using Google Maps and also extract emails from those websites, all using Apify agent skills. This video is actually sponsored by Apify, so if you want to click the link in the description below, you can get started completely for free, and then they also offer paid plans as well. I've been using Apify for a couple years now. It's one of the most powerful scrapers online. They've got integrations with all sorts of different apps, including Google Maps, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. The list goes on and on. There's literally thousands of apps that you can scrape using Apify. And let's go ahead and open up our console in Apify over here, and then we can actually just go ahead and install this skill using something like Open Code. So if we want to install the skill, I'm just going to come over here to the GitHub repository. This is for Apify agent skills, and you're just going to scroll down and copy and paste this line right here using Node.js package manager. We're going to come over to the terminal because I just want to install this globally on my system. You can also do this using Claude Code or Open Code over here in Cursor as well. If you just want to clone the repository, you can do it from here, but I just want to install it globally. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter in that command to grab the skills. And now it's just saying it needs to install. So I'm going to hit yes, and that's going to start installing the Apify skills. So as you can see here, we can go through and install all 12 of these skills. You're just going to want to hit spacebar and go through and install all of these. These are things for, lead generation, content analytics, competitor analysis, audience analytics, all sorts of skills built in here. And you can also take a look through all the skills over here as well, and you can read through what each one of them does. So this one just scrapes leads from multiple platforms, and it shows how to set it up. Basically, we're going to have to create a .env file with the Apify token and a few other things as well. And then you can also just install the individual skills if you want to, and it shows all of the different things that you get access to for each of these skills. So this is just going to make it a lot easier versus going over here into the console, finding the actor and running it manually. You could just do it directly through your IDE. So now we're just going to hit enter. I want to use Cursor, so I'm just going to push enter, and then we can go ahead and install that globally. I want to install it in my home directory, so I'm going to hit enter, and symlink is fine. And then we can proceed with the installation. You can see here, these are all of the skills that it is installing. So we're just going to go ahead and install that. And now the installation is complete. And it's also asking, do I want to install the find skills skill? It helps your agent discover and suggest skills. So I'm going to say yes. So now it's cloned the repository and it's done. And then in order to actually run this, we're going to come over to Cursor, which is where I installed it, and we're going to create a new project. So in this case, I'm just going to create a project, and we're going to create a new folder here. I'm just going to call it Cursor under Documents. Keep in mind, I don't really use Cursor all that much, so I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go along here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the terminal. I'm just going to type in Open Code, and I'm just going to ask it, list all of the agent skills you have access to. And what that's going to do is just going to list all the skills, including the Apify skills that we just installed. So it's just going to list all of them here, and then we should be able to run it. So you can see I've already installed one for Remotion, and then there's all the Apify skills. So I'm just going to say run Apify lead generation skill. Just go ahead and see if it can run this skill, or if it will need an API token. I'm assuming it will need the API token, which we're going to have to put in over here in Cursor. But let's just see if it can run this real quick. So it's saying, I'll help you generate leads using Apify lead generation skill. Let me start by checking the prerequisites and then guide you through the process. So as you can see, I do need the .env file, which I'm going to need to set up. So it says permission required. I'll say always allow, and this will allow it to read until open code is restarted. So we're just going to confirm that. And it's saying no token found. It's not able to find the .env file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to cursor. I'm just going to enter in my API key. I'm just going to enter in API underscore token equals. We're just going to paste in this key. Now I'm going to delete this before I post the video so that nobody has access to it, obviously. So if we want to actually run this, I'm just going to say run Apify lead generation skill. See if it can run it now that I have included the Apify token. So it's reading the skill.md file, it's listing the Apify lead generation skill, and planning the next moves. So it looks like it's calling the Google Places crawler right now, which is a good sign. So that means the Apify token is working. All you have to do is create this .env file and provide your Apify token. And now it's running Google Places. So we're just scraping leads from Google, but I haven't actually specified what leads I want to scrape. But as you can see, it is now scraping coffee shops in, looks like Seattle, Washington. And there's all of the coffee shops right here. So that includes opening hours, all of the information that you would get from Google Maps. But in this case, I don't actually really want to run the Google Maps listing. It is pretty cool though that you can see that you could do this. So if I want to run Apify lead generation skill and find, let's say, AI startups in San Francisco and add them into CSV database, right? So that's just going to essentially do the same thing. It's going to scrape, I'm assuming, Google Maps. We'll see which skill that it uses. So here we go. It's using the Google Places once again. Just going to hit run. And as you can see, yeah, it's just running the skills directly within cursor over here. And if you want to take a look at some of the other skills that you have access to or run these manually, you can do that through Apify as well. And we can come over to runs here and you can see exactly what it's doing right here. So that's running the Google Maps scraper. And you can see all of the leads that it's generating through here as well. So these are all startups, AI startups in San Francisco, right here, along with websites. It doesn't look like it actually includes the email addresses, but we should be able to find those as well using another integration inside Apify, such as Apollo, which I think they've actually removed recently because I think people were abusing it a bit too much. But it looks like they do have a scraper here as well, which is 1,000 emails. So $1 for 1,000 emails, and that includes Apollo and also LinkedIn profiles as well. So we might be able to use this one. Looks like it's asking for more permissions here. I'm just gonna go ahead and approve that. And let's see if it can put this into a database. Looks like it did put it into a CSV database right here. 86,000 bytes, 86K right here. So you can actually just go ahead and preview that right here. These are all AI startups in San Francisco. So if you want to actually get these emails, run a Apify skill to extract emails from the AI startups database. So that should call one of its available skills, which are over here. We can see for lead generation over here. If we take a look, you can also scrape Facebook groups, Google search, YouTube channels, all sorts of things, Instagram profiles, local businesses, which is the one that it's using now. I'm just going to go ahead and approve that. And now it's going to be running the contact info scraper. And this will be pretty cool if we can actually get the email addresses from these websites. So essentially, I think what it's doing is just going to these individual websites and it's scraping for the emails on the website. That's what this code is doing. And the really nice thing about this is it's doing everything inside my IDE over here. You can also take a look at the JSON here as well. So it's basically just feeding in all of these URLs and scraping for email addresses. There's a lot of other things that we can do here as well. I'm just scratching the surface, but in this video I just wanted to show what this is capable of. And keep in mind, I'm still kind of figuring this out as I go along myself. We've also got a lot of things for YouTube scrapers as well. If you want to scrape video data and metrics from YouTube, you can get transcripts. You can search Google search as well. You can search booking.com reviews. The list goes on and on. There's so many different integrations through Apify. And yeah, I highly recommend coming over here, creating your free account. And it starts at, I think, like 20 bucks a month, something like that. You can also see how much data usage you're running over here as well. I've only spent $1 so far out of $55 with the scraping. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And let's see if it can actually get these email addresses. So this is what it's done, and it put it into a CSV file over here. And boom, there's all the email addresses right there. So it just got all the email addresses and it put it into another CSV file over here. So there's the list of all the URLs, and it should have the emails in here as well. You can see how powerful this is, and if you actually use this for your own business, I think it's going to save you a ton of time going through each website, scraping leads, or going to Apollo and doing it all manually. This is just built directly into Apify, and they make it a lot easier with this GitHub over here, which you can just clone into your Cursor account. Or you could also use Claude code as well. So if you wanted to set this up in Claude code, you would do the exact same thing. Just come over here to like Visual Studio Code once Claude code's installed, and you would just enter in that same command in order to clone that repository into Claude code over here as well. So it just depends on which one you want to use. I'm just getting started with Cursor, but I also really like Claude code as well. So we can just go ahead and install that over here while Cursor is running. And I'm on Linux, so I really am very security conscious. I would much rather use something like this versus like OpenClaw, Moltbot, or any of those tools. And I'm pretty happy with Cursor. If you want to get started with Cursor, you just come over here and you would just install it. You essentially just open up the terminal, and then you can run it inside the terminal. Or obviously, if you're on Mac, you would just get the executable. But for me, I'm on Linux, so I just download the Linux and then I install it over here. And then you get access to the complete code editor IDE. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Signing off.